Hi everyone, it's Robin and welcome back to Happy at Home. Today it is time once again to answer your questions. I've been doing this for a few weeks now. It's been going very well. I seem to be having a pretty good response to it, so I'm going to keep on rolling with it. So at the end of this video, if you have any questions for me, whether it be about decorating, about crafting, about my life in general, or just random questions, leave them in the comments below. And especially if you are having some difficulty with an area in your house, you're not sure what to do with it, let me know about it and maybe I can give you some ideas to get those creative juices flowing and you can create something that you absolutely love for your home. That is the whole point of these questions and answers, just to kind of help you guys out and talk about decorating and other fun stuff, just because I enjoy decor. So anyways, I'll stop chatting and let's go ahead and get into this week's. So the first question is from Reenie. Hey girl, you always leave me a question every week. I appreciate it so much. But anyways, this week you have asked, if you don't live in the country or have a farmhouse style home, should a person style their home in the farmhouse style? For example, if you live in an apartment in Manhattan, would you decorate farmhouse or is it just weird? Alright, so to answer your question, I would say absolutely you can use the farmhouse style wherever, whatever type of house that you have. Because farmhouse style is like wide open. You can go so many different ways in a farmhouse style to make it suit where you're living. So what I mean is there's like farmhouse rustic, farmhouse cottage, farmhouse glam, modern farmhouse, country farmhouse. There's so many different ways that you can do a country style home that you can pick one that's going to work with the situation that you have. Like say you're living in Manhattan, you might want to go for more of a modern farmhouse look, which is much more minimalistic. Things are beautiful, but yet you are useful at the same time, so they double function. And also there's a lot of mixture between like rough textures and smooth textures and dark textures and light textures, like darker walls and lighter furnishings, that sort of thing. To me it feels very modern farmhouse. There's all the different like ways you can go with farmhouse decorating. I think you can find something that will work for whatever sort of house you're living in. You just have to be a little bit creative. So personally, I do not live in a farmhouse. I wish I did, but I don't. I have a two-story split level house, but I decorate in the farmhouse style and I think it works just fine. So I pretend like this is my farmhouse because that is where I'm at. And I love this house so much. I've made it into a home that I absolutely love. So I think just don't be worried about what type of house you're in, and that you have to decorate that certain way. Just like, here's another example. If you had a beautiful Victorian house, you do not necessarily have to decorate your house in the Victorian style just because you have a Victorian house. Do you know what I mean? You can still do a traditional style, you can do, boho style, you do whatever you want. It's your house, you can do with it as you please. So, don't be stuck in a rut thinking that if you don't have a farmhouse, you cannot decorate a certain way. That is not the case at all. Just, make it work for you, and if you like it, that is all that matters. Alright, so moving on to the next question. Sarah says, I have a large quantity of various sized crocheted and embroidered doilies. Could you give me some ideas on how to create anything with them? Would they belong in a farmhouse? Yes, for sure. Also, I have many tablecloths. Should I give them away, or is there something I could do or make with them? Oh man. Okay, I have quite a lot of doilies and tablecloths myself. I went through a kick about a year ago and I was piling all the doilies I could find and I was going to make all these projects with them. I still haven't done it. I have a few that I've made stuff with, or I have a few that I really like to use on like table runners and stuff like that. Alright, so let's start with the doilies. You can obviously use them in their traditional sense of the word. Put them on a table, in the middle of a table with a vase of flowers in them, that sort of thing, or some sort of little arrangement. I like to use them. I have one side table that I have like a rectangular one that I always put on there, and then I just layer whatever I'm displaying on top of it. I don't know why, but it just looks amazing on that table, and it's got this cute little scalloped edge, and it's gorgeous, and I love to use it whenever I can. Also, another thing that I'll do with them is like drape them over the side of a basket, just to kind of soften the basket a little bit, that sort of thing. So that's kind of your traditional uses of doilies. Now, if you want to make something out of doilies, there's so many ideas for doilies, that's craziness. So let me just run through a quick little list of what I think would be fun to do with doilies. The first thing to do, which I've been wanting to do for a really long time, is to tack a few of them onto a pillow cover and then put like a really pretty like rhinestone-y button right in the middle. If it's a circle one with a little rhinestone button in the middle, or you know, just tack them onto a pillow cover. I think that would look really pretty, and it would highlight the gorgeousness of the actual doily itself. Another thing you could do is sew them onto some sort of quilt. I have seen that before, where they just have like a basic colored, you know, like a, you know, darker colored quilt, and then they hand sewed all these doilies in like a waterfall of doilies over the quilt, and it was absolutely gorgeous. I thought that was an amazing thing to do with them. Another thing you could do is cut the doilies in half and make a bunting, you know, like they use for like, you know, birthday parties or celebrations or whatever. Those are really pretty. You could attach the doilies to some fabric and then hang them in embroidery hoops and make a little arrangement with them like that. Let's see. Oh, I've also seen too where they have stretched the doilies that are like square or rectangle over like a frame, and then they hang those on a wall like a gallery piece of art, which looks really pretty, especially if you've got like darker walls, because then the holes, you can kind of see the wall color through the holes in the doily. It's just really gorgeous. That is really, really pretty. I've always thought that would be fun to do. Also, you could do that with a lace tablecloth. It would be really cool. You could obviously frame them. Do a little gallery wall of your favorite doilies that are framed up. That's a very pretty thing to do. Another thing that I've seen done and which I've always wanted to do was take a whole bunch of doilies and lay them out as a table runner and then just kind of tack them together. So there's like this, you know, waterfall of doilies that go down the center of your table. Oh, I think that is really cool. Another thing I would like to do, but I haven't yet because I don't have an outside flag, is that they made like, you know, those little flags, you know, you can get a little Easter flag or a Christmas flag or whatever. They made a flag out of this really pretty calico print, and then they had like 3 doilies on it also. And I just thought that was really pretty. So there's things like that you could do with the doilies. So moving on to tablecloths. A lot of the same things you could do with doilies you could do with tablecloths. But a few of the things that I could think of off the top of my head would be pillow covers. Cut it out, make a beautiful little pillow cover, or a pillow form, you know what I mean? And then a bunting. I've seen where they've done like a Christmas tablecloth and they used all the little images off a Christmas tablecloth and made a Christmas bunting. Oh, I want to do that so bad. The other thing would be to make a quilt out of your tablecloth. So you could get like, I think you might, with a larger tablecloth, you could probably get almost a twin size quilt, but you could use the quilt to make like a throw size blanket quilt. That would be so pretty. Some of those tablecloths are gorgeous, and the texture of the tablecloths that they used to make are so soft. They would make really good quilts. Another thing too you could do is cut them up, especially if they're like stained or they have holes in them. Cut out little sections of it and make tea towels out of them. That would be really cute. You know, even add like a little pom-pom fringe on the bottom of it. That would be really cute. And then of course, several things too. You could, you know, if there's a certain section of it that you want, you could cut that out, frame it either in embroidery hoop or stretch it across the frame or something and hang it like a gallery, you know, canvas. And then another fun thing to do with it would be to make lampshades. you could easily use pieces of the tablecloth to cover a lampshade, so that would be really cute. So anyways, those are just a few of the ideas that I came up with. If you need more inspiration, just go on over to Pinterest and type in doilies or tablecloth like projects, and whoa, there's a ton of stuff out there that I'm sure you would love, and get your creative juices flowing, and you'll be crafting up tons of stuff with doilies and tablecloths. So hopefully that helps you out with that a lot. Alright, so moving on. Moving on to the next question. Creative Lori asks, do you still buy magazines and get inspiration from them, or do you find that the internet has enough to satisfy you? Oh my goodness. Alright, I'm going to answer this question very, very truthfully, and hopefully I do not get in trouble for it. But yes, magazines have been ruined for me by the internet, because I feel like the home decor blogs and channels on YouTube are way far advanced than the magazine, than the stuff that you find in the magazine. Like, I think the stuff in the magazines were popular like 2 years ago on, you know, blogs that I was reading. They're like so far behind. I can look through magazines and it's like, okay, I've seen that before, I've seen that before. And they just recycle the magazines so much that I just don't find them relevant anymore. I would love to read magazines. I love but there isn't a magazine in the last 5 years that I have picked up that I liked. That is so sad. So sad. So yeah, magazines are not where it's at anymore when it comes to home decor. For me personally anyways, unless they step up their game and, you know, I mean, if they started doing some like get onto Instagram and see what people are actually doing in their homes these days, it's just not, it's not worth to buy it anymore. That was a very rambly explanation. I'm sorry. I'm not quite with it today, I don't think. But anyways, so yeah, I have not bought a magazine to read in probably, I think my last one I bought was like a holiday magazine like 2 years ago. Like holiday decorating magazine, and then when I got home I was really disappointed. I'm like, oh, I've seen that, I've seen that, I've seen that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't buy magazines anymore unless I'm completely desperate for something to read. Like I think I bought a Country Living last summer because I knew I was going to the beach and I had forgotten to bring any reading supplies. Like I didn't bring a book, I didn't bring a crossword puzzle, I had no projects to work on. And I'm like, what am I going to do sitting at the beach? So I like grabbed a Country Living and I was disappointed. I think I made came away from that magazine with one idea. And back in the day, I could go through a Country Living or a Country Home magazine and I'd be like 20 things that I loved out of that magazine. And now I'm lucky if I'm inspired even once. So yeah. Yeah. Magazines are ruined for me, which is sad, but it saves me money. Alright, so moving on. Patricia asks, have you tried the Crackle painting, or do you prefer a more random pattern? I have tried the Crackle painting and I love using the Crackle painting, and I think I've mentioned this before, but I do not buy the Crackle medium. I use good old Elmer's glue instead, and I think it works better than the Crackle medium. I've actually had better success with it. And speaking of Crackle painting, I have been asked as many times how I do it. So I have already planned for this Friday to show you a tutorial on how I do crackling painting and a scraping technique that I use when I do painting to distress wood. So look for that this Friday. And if you're interested in a tutorial on how I personally do the crackling technique. So, yes, that is coming very soon. Alright, so the next question is from Jane, and she asks, where do you find the pickling wash? The pickling wash I mentioned in my thrift store makeovers just the other day. I think it was last Thursday. I don't know when it was. Last week I had thrift store makeover and I did a project with pickling wash. Now this is the first time I've used the pickling wash, and I really like it, and now I want to go to the store and get all the colors. But back to the question, I bought it at Michael's. It's in their little craft paint section, and I want to say it's by Folk Art or Americana. I cannot read. Decor Paint, I believe, is who makes it. I can't remember now. But anyways, but Michael's had like 4 different colors of the pickling wash, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I bought it. I just bought it on a whim a while, like 6 months ago, thinking, oh, that's kind of fun. This would be fun to try. And I just finally got around to using it this past week. But I really liked it. So it was really fun. And now I want to go get all the colors because I really like it. It's really neat. So definitely, and it was not very expensive. Definitely under $5. I want to say it was more around the $2 to $3 range. And you know, you get the regular old size of craft paint. Like, what is that, 4 ounces or something like that? I don't really know. But yeah, but it's very liquidy. It's almost like a stain, so it's going to go a really long ways. So yeah, that is where I got the pickling wash, and they have lots of different colors, so get yourself to Michael's. I do not know if Hobby Lobby has it. Hobby Lobby, at least my Hobby Lobby, does not have very many, like compared to Michael's craft paint section, is very, very small. You know what I was thinking about the other day too? Let me just ask you this. How many of you go to like home improvement stores like Lowe's, Menards, Home Depot? How awesome would it be if those stores would get their act together and have a little craft section in their store? Because half the time you have to go to the home improvement store to get the wood or the supplies for your project, and then you have to go to Hobby Lobby or to Michael's or one of those craft stores to actually get, like, you know, the little craft paints and the little brushes and, you know, all the other little things for a project. They need to get their act together and get a little craft section in these stores. How awesome would that be? Right? I don't know why they haven't ever thought of that, because that would be amazing. Even if you could just pick up glue sticks, you know what I mean, at the home improvement store, that would be awesome. Glue sticks, craft paint, you know, just the basic craft supplies would be amazing to be able to pick up at your home improvement store. And I do not know why they don't do that. I mean, Menards has food, for goodness sakes. You can get toilet paper and you get cleaning supplies, but you can't get craft supplies. It's a shame. But anyway, you can leave in the comments what you think about that idea, but I think it's genius, and I don't know why they're not doing it, because that's a whole market that they're missing right there. But anyways, that's my little tangent for the day. Alright, so anyways, that is where I get the pickling wash, is from Michael's. So the next question is also from the thrift store makeover video, and Cassandra asks, how do you learn what type of paint to use on different projects like the ones you do? Truthfully, the type of paint that I use really depends on the project that I'm doing. If I'm doing a larger project, I will either spray paint it if it's warm enough to spray paint. If it's not warm enough to spray paint, then I will use like a latex paint in probably a satin finish, just because that latex paint is a lot easier to cover bigger spaces with a latex paint. It goes on a lot smoother. And then if I'm doing a smaller project, a lot of times I will use, you know, just the craft paints, because I'm using a smaller brush, or I want to use a special color and I don't want to buy a big thing of paint, so I'll just get the little craft size paints, that sort of thing. The problem with using craft paints on, say, like decorating or like redoing a frame, if I wanted to do it in a pretty color, like say baby blue or something like that, I don't like the feel of the craft paints once they're dry. It's a very matte and very dry, so a lot of times I will put a clear coat over it, or I'll spread wax on it, something like that, just to kind of give it a silkier feel, like more like a latex paint feel, if that makes sense. But let me just say, there really is no right or wrong kind of paint for any type of project. Whatever you want to do, it's gonna be fine. It's paint. It's gonna work. So whether you use craft paint, latex paint, chalk paint, whatever, it's gonna work. I haven't personally been in, I personally have only used chalk paint once, and I wasn't very impressed. Because again, it's got that matte finish, and I don't like the matte finish. And I also don't like having to wax things once I'm done, which a lot of people do with a chalk paint. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of chalk paint. I know, I should be because it's like super popular right now, but I'm really not. Give me a good old latex paint any day. So anyways, hopefully that answered that question. So the next question is from the Too Stinkin' Cute vlog on this past Monday. And Kim Smith asks, how do you organize and store things as you accumulate, I can't say that word, accumulate items from the thrift store? First of all, I try to use as much as I can right away. If there's something that will easily go into the decor I have out already, I'll just add it to that, display or whatever. If that doesn't happen, it goes into a couple different places. The first one being if the items are, if my item that I got is something like plates, silver, or like table linens, that sort of thing, those all get stored in my two hutches. I have the hutch in my living room, and then I have this corner hutch over here. Both of those hutches have a bottom section that holds a ton of stuff. That's where I keep all my silver pieces. That's where I keep all my plates, platters, all that kind of stuff that I do not have on display. I also keep a stack of doilies and tablecloths in my corner cabinet. So that's where most of that sort of stuff goes. Other sort of stuff like baskets, flower arrangements, candlestick holder, all the other stuff that I have for decorating with gets stored in my itty bitty laundry room / furnace room. And that is where a majority of my stuff, the out of season stuff, is stored. I also have a couple other little shelves. I have shelves in that room everywhere I could think to put them. And basically, I have the stuff stored in there. I also in that room have a little small 2-shelf decorative shelf, and that's where I keep all of my candle holders and that sort of thing. So yeah, one of these days I will get around to cleaning that area and getting it completely organized, and I will show you guys how I store things. I know it is a very highly requested video. People are always asking me this question, how do you organize, how do you store things? And I can't answer it and I can't show you, because my room right now is a complete disaster area. We also have a freezer down there, and seriously, my freezer is stacked like this high with baskets and stuff. So I just need to go through that room. I need to purge it, and I need to organize it, but I have yet to do that. So hopefully I will get that done relatively soon, and then I can show you guys. So I will definitely show you guys whenever I actually get that done. So that is it for the questions this week. Thank you to all of you who have left me questions. I appreciate it very, very much. Hopefully I was able to answer your questions today. I feel very scatterbrained, and I do not know if this is, I might have to film this if I get to the editing process and I'm like, what? So hopefully that made sense today. Yeah, so anyways, thank you for your questions. I really appreciate it. Alright, so before I leave today, I want to share with you a new to me channel that I found just this morning, which is a very, very new channel. I think she has 2 videos up, but I watched her newest video this morning and I'm like, this lady is awesome. I'm going to love her channel, so I'm going to just throw it out there right now and let you guys go over there and check it out, because she's going to be big, I can tell. The name of this channel is called White Cottage Company. I will make sure to link it down below. So today's video that I watched, she did a spring mantle, and oh my goodness, so beautiful. She's definitely got that cottage, farmhouse vibe going on. She's got shiplap walls. I mean, it was just this shot of just the area where her mantle was, but in the background you could get a little glimpse of what it looked like, the kitchen or the dining room, and I'm like, oh man, this lady's house is amazing, and I cannot wait for her to do a tour, and I told her so. So anyways, I am very excited about this channel. I think this is going to definitely be a channel that I'm going to be drawing a lot of inspiration from because her house already looks amazing. So anyways, go check it out. It's the White Cottage Company. Let her know you stopping by from my place and share the love with her. So, and let me know what you guys think too. I'm like, what do you think? She's going to be pretty awesome, I think. So let me know in the comments what you think of her channel after you've been there. I'd appreciate it. Just to make sure that I'm like, I'm not crazy, but I think she's going to be big. So anyways, just letting you know. So I will let you guys get going. Thanks again for stopping by. If you have any questions for me, leave them down in the comments and I will answer them again next week. Oh wait, I'm not going to answer them next week. It'll be the following week. Next week, next Monday, I don't know if you're aware, but I'm having surgery. So next week video will not be happening. It'll be the following week. Yeah, it'll be the following week. Because I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But that'll be like 2 days after the video. I'm just not doing videos next week. I'm just going to take the week off. I've just decided. Executive decision made. No videos next week. Unless I'm doing like fabulous. But it'll be the following week then. So I'll be back in March. I'll be back the first week of March with more videos. Alright. This is going to be a long rambling video. I am so very sorry. But I'm kind of in a funky mood today. So if you are still here watching this, I thank you. Alright, I will see you later. Bye.